Anywhere you like, guys, anywhere you like. One more time for the cast of Cobra Kai. Hello, hello. If you guys are new to the panels, I'm going to ask a few questions, and then we have microphones here on the left and the right, and you get a chance to talk to our amazing celebrity panel. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wales. How has it been going for you so far?
It's been great. Everybody is so nice here.
Lovely.
Yeah, we love it here. Absolutely love you guys, so thank you so much. Do you like it?
Well, I love it. I love the pubs.
Yeah. You're in the right place. That's right. Well, obviously, Cobra Kai spans the globe, and everyone here in the UK is so excited to meet you guys. Tell us about some of the fan interactions you've had today.
Say that again, because
The fan interactions.
Fan interactions here in Wales. How have the fans been today?
Oh, we love how nice everybody is. It's really unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's like, everybody's so grateful, and just, we were in Ireland before we came here, and Manchester before that. We just can't believe how incredibly gracious and nice everybody is. So thank you guys so much for that. It's really, it's so receptive. Thank you.
Yes.
yeah, we talk about how gracious everybody is here and kind, and I mean, you live in Los Angeles. You're lucky if you get someone that will help you up when you're falling down. But here everybody is so kind and compassionate and all. And I just, if you have to do any kind of shows, because the stress of traveling and all, it's here. It's the UK, and I just think that people are so appreciative. You all are so appreciative that we're here, and that we're signing these pictures and all. So thank you.
They've got manners here in Wales for sure. Now, Hannah, I've had the pleasure of interviewing Jesse and Martin before, but first time meeting you. Is this your first time in the UK?
It is.
Ooh, what do you think so far?
I love it. I can't wait to come back. Yeah.
Yes, that's what we like to hear. So tell us how you got into Cobra Kai and what journey led you to the show.
Sure. I started Cobra Kai when I was 16. I did musical theater growing up, and then in high school I decided I wanted to try out film, and so I started auditioning when I was 15, 16 years old, and then I got a audition for a YouTube Red Ralph Macchio show, and I have to admit I did not know who Ralph Macchio was at the time. But then I quickly looked him up, and I was like, of course, the Karate Kid.
It was before your generation, though, correct?
Yeah, my parents knew exactly. They were so stoked. And so I got the audition, and then I quickly drove to Atlanta for the callback. And very quickly after that, we started filming, and it was Moon. Yeah. It was amazing. So, yeah.
Love your character, by the way. Obviously, we're all fans of Cobra Kai, and I have to ask Martin a question, because I have interviewed you guys before, but I've never really talked to you about your first initial reaction when you heard they would be doing the series first. Was there any reticence to you joining, or?
Yeah, I sat down with them, and I wasn't interested in really doing John Kreese again the same way. I wanted them to write some vulnerability, some texture to the character, where he has an arc in the sense of just being more emotional. And they agreed to do that, because I did not want to play him the way we played John Kreese in the first movie, which was very much, the hard-ass, tough guy, very little emotion. And they agreed to do that. So, as you can see, where I think more my son was played in the diner scene, and there's a flashback, that's the first time, I think it was season 3, episode 2, where they have a flashback, and you see that this character is the way he functions, because he had a lot of problems, in his background, and that's what's fun to play as an actor. Sometimes we don't like to watch serial killer movies, because they're really devastating, and the characters are at times so violent. But as an actor, it's really fun to play those characters, because emotionally you go to these depths, Joker and all that. It's fun to play as an actor. It's often not fun to watch these violent epics, but what's really great is to act them. So when they give me more emotion to play with as you'll see in episodes to come, it's very exciting, and they write well, so it's good.
Absolutely. A very complex character, very layered, would you say, Kreese?
I'm sorry?
Very layered, very complex.
Very layered, yeah. It's very complicated, and when you have the girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm still pretty upset about it.
Yeah. I mean, John Kreese in 1965, when that flashback in the diner takes your girlfriend away.
Loser.
Still a little bitter about
Freak.
But, as long as you keep it multi-layered, it's very exciting to play. And the tough guys, I've done so many of them. That, Rambo and those others. And
I think everybody loves watching you kick ass, right?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, people at the beginning of the show is like John Kreese. You love to hate him or you hate to love him. One of those things usually works.
One of my favorite scenes was you taking Daniel LaRusso through the dojo window at the end of season 3. That was pretty great, right?
That was interesting. It was. I can't take credit for it, even though I like to tell people I did it. But it was a very good sequence and big payoffs, really good payoffs.
Question for you, Jesse. It's kind of a double one, so I do apologize. What is it like working with your dad and traveling with your dad to Comic-Cons and seeing parts of the world with him?
Well, being able to work with him is like, we just have such a blast. We care for each other so much, so we really expect a lot from each other from our work. So, it's really nice to have that relationship with him creatively. He's always got my back and I have his, and it's nice to have that. And it's great. I'm so grateful to be able to do this with my dad, and then to have stepped into the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai universes was just so amazing and such a blessing. And I was honored to do it, and it was great. And we just do a lot of laughing. We have a good time, and it's really fun. And I'll cherish these memories forever. One of the greatest memories was being in the diner sequence in season 3, and me bullying Barrett, who plays young Kreese, and then having him watch this happen behind the video cameras. It was like this weird Back to the Future moment, and it was incredible. There's something really special about that day. It was awesome.
Very cool. We're going to ask that you guys go to the microphones over here on the left and the right. If you have a question, come on up. Do not be shy. We've got some shy ones here in Wales. I think it's because you're so polite, bless you. But microphones here on the left and the right, please come ask a question. But a quick question from me for you, Hannah. One thing I love about Cobra Kai, and we're seeing a lot more of it in other TV shows as well, is the female empowerment element. So is that something that really, yes. Who run the world? Thank you. So is that something that drew you to the character as well?
Oh, definitely. I think we're really lucky that we have incredible writers who have really empowered a lot of the women on the show, and we've got some kick-ass women on the show. I love my co-stars. All of the girls are so fun to work with, and we've got some really great role models too. Between Vanessa and Courtney, they're incredible, and it's such a great component of our show, and I'm really proud to be a part of it.
We're so proud that you are. Round of applause. Yes. We have questions over here. We're going to go to this microphone on the left. Hello, sir.
Who are each of your favorite characters besides yourself?
You can't say yourself.
Okay. I've always really loved Johnny. I think he's so funny. And our show wouldn't be our show without him. Like season 1, it's hilarious. Yeah.
I really like Tori, played by Peyton. She's a great character.
I kind of like Hawk, He had potential of being my best student after Johnny Lawrence. And then he moved to the dark side.
We've got a question over here on the right. Hello.
Hey guys, how's it going? Jesse, I want to embarrass you a little bit.
Oh God.
I want to hear your best impression of Kreese. Your dad's right there. The whole audience is here. We got to hear it.
Oh, this is a good one. Okay, my favorite scene is when he finally takes over the dojo. What is it, the end of season 3, right? And he's like, well, how does it start off? You're walking through the crowd, and he's like, He's like, Cobra Kai is mine. It always has been, and it always will be.
Spot on. You've done your research, I think.
Thanks, dude. Love you, man. If you guys don't follow this guy right here, he's incredible. Shamoon, just an amazing fan and just one of the most dedicated fans to Cobra Kai and Karate Kid there is. So if you guys, he knows everything that's happening, so just check him out. He's incredible.
Round of applause for that dedication. Just proves how many lives are touched by the show, by Cobra Kai. We'll have a question over here on the left.
Hi there. My question is, if you could do a crossover episode with any other franchise, like a TV series or a movie, what would you choose, and what would you like to happen in that particular episode?
I know. I would like to do something crossover with Game of Thrones. And I would like Cersei to make Miyagi-Do disappear.
I'd be up for that.
Good answer.
I think. Oh, yeah. I think it'd be so fun to unleash these Cobra Kai warriors on The Walking Dead all around. It'd
good
be
one.
amazing. It's like, we got this. We'll sweep their legs off, literally.
Let us handle it.
Okay, I don't know how this would make sense or how it would even work, but I watched Bridgerton this morning, and that was the first thing that came to my mind. You never know. It could be very entertaining.
It's your
Or Cobra Kai and Downton Abbey, I think might be good. Yeah, that would be perfect.
Cobra Abbey coming soon. Yeah, great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to go to the microphone on the right.
Hi. Did you ever get hurt by accident filming the karate scenes?
The injuries, let me just think for a second. No, but I remember getting a little sick. In my first entrance, when episode 10, season 1, and I smoked the cigars, and I really didn't get hurt because most of the fight scenes have been pretty, coordinator's been pretty good, and if it's really chancy, we have the stuntman do it. But this time I had to walk in the room and say, the real story's only just begun. And they gave me very, very just poor cigars to smoke. Because, really bad cigars, like cheap cigars. So I tried to do the scene once, twice, and I got such a headache, and I couldn't do it. So I had some Cuban cigars with me. And I hate cutting up Cuban cigars because if you know movies, there are continuities. So which means if you do the scene 10 times, you have to have the same length of a cigarette or a cigar for each take. And there's nothing worse than cutting up a Cuban cigar in 10 pieces. And, so I had to do that a few times. But I used my cigars, which were a little more refined. And we did the scene maybe 4 times, so I only had to destroy, 3 or 4 cigars. But I remember how it affected me because I just got such a headache, and the scene was my entrance. So it was very important for it to be good. And what saved me was a really good Cuban cigar.
Yeah, but you should tell them too about Karate Kid 2 when you punched through the window. That was.
Oh yeah, but in the movies, a real injury was Karate Kid 2, where I had to punch through the window at the top of Karate Kid 2 and miss Miyagi and go through a van. But the window never broke. It was supposed to completely shatter, and your hand would go through an inch before, and it would look like you shattered the window. So we would snap and snap and snap, and the window would never break. And the special effects man assured me it would break. So I really went at it, and my fist broke the glass. The gunpowder along the door never shattered the glass. So my fist took out the glass, and shards of glass sticking in my wrist, and yeah, it was really bad.
So the first shot of you in Karate Kid 2.
So
was real.
Yeah,
Actually
going
breaking the window.
into the window is real. It's Martin Kove's fist. And then, yeah. And I said to the director when they patched me up with new skin, I said, I did one more take and it never really broke. Again, it just stayed there and my fist hit it but didn't break it. So I turned to John Avildsen, the director, and I said, John, this is not the hand of Arnold in The Terminator. This is Martin Kove's hand. And he says, okay, that's a wrap, which means we just used what we had, and the next day, coming out of that window was fake.
Love that. Any injuries for you guys? No?
Oh, all the time. I mean, I'm doing karate all the time.
Kicking everybody's ass in Cobra Kai.
No injuries.
I mean, just scrapes, knee scrapes, elbow scrapes. You know, that fight scene, the diner sequence was a big one. It was, but a lot of fun. You know, they had a great stunt team there. So, Hirokoda at the time. So it was just great. But your average stuff that you enjoy, you kind of enjoy it as you're doing it. So it's great.
Good question. We've got a question here on the left.
Hey guys, and first off, I want to say thank you for making the trip down here. We all appreciate that. So this question is for Martin Kove. Now, as we saw at the end of season 4, he was betrayed by, in other words, his blood brother, Terry Silver. And I was just wondering, you said exploring about the vulnerability and sides we've never seen to characters before. So could you give us maybe a small tease of what Kreese is going to be like in season 5, because he was brutally betrayed?
Well, I really can't give you any spoilers because, it's. I really want you to be surprised, but it's obvious that he goes to jail, and I think you can just get a sense of the character of John Kreese, and for you to know that he gets his revenge.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys.
We love that. We're going to go to the microphone on the right. Hello.
Hi. Just to say, obviously, it's been lovely seeing you all, especially Martin. It's been an honour meeting you earlier. Question for everyone. What was, out of all of Cobra Kai, what has been your favourite scene to shoot?
Oh, you want me to answer that question? Do you want to go first? My favorite scene, it was just the scene we were talking about with the cigar. I really enjoyed the opening because I didn't know what to expect, and I was told I had to keep my mouth. I couldn't talk about I had to hide. First of all, I had to hide in a hotel room for 2 days before I shot because the tournament scene was going on, and they didn't want anybody to know that my character was coming back in. And he was always set up to come back in episode 10, season 1, not earlier, and not a whisper of his existence. So for 7 months, I had to be quiet from December through to the show aired in May. And it was very hard. And everybody was doing press, and it was very hard to be quiet. But my favorite scene was that scene because when I hit my mark and said, and took a puff of the cigar and said, the real story's only just begun. The first rehearsal, I hear on the other side of the dojo, all the writers and the directors and everybody there with the monitors. It's called Video Village, where everybody's watching exactly what is being shot. And all of a sudden I say my line, and then I hear, oh. And I couldn't imagine what that was. And then they were so excited that this character, Kreese, had said their lines. They had waited for so long for this character to come alive again and say their lines, the writers. So it really made me feel good. But the appreciation of them and that moment was the most exciting for me, because they had waited months and months, probably years, because they saw the movie when they were 6. And our writers are just very big fans at the age of 42. These three men are just big fans like you all. So I would say that's my favorite scene, really. It meant so much to me.
Mine was watching, I was watching season 4. I came to set to watch, and it was the first time, it was that scene outside Miyagi-Do where my dad, Terry Silver, Daniel, and Johnny are all together, and they all confront each other for the first time. And this was the first time that the 4 of them had been on screen together in like 35 years. So watching that scene with all of them together and seeing them all laugh and enjoy each other was really, really cool to watch. I was like, it felt like a nerd just staring at these guys, you know, watching them. It was pretty cool.
Oh, God. I know.
It's a good question if you're having them think up here about it. It's thinking long and hard.
Oh God, I have so many. I mean, nothing will compare to filming season 1 and like the nostalgia of it all and being 16 and everything's so new and meeting all my co-stars and getting close to them. When we were filming the tournament, it snowed like crazy in Georgia, and we actually had to like shut down for the day, and so we all got to play in the snow together, and that was so fun. This past season 4, we had the lovely Miss Carrie Underwood come on the show and perform, and that day for work, I just came in, got into hair and makeup and my wardrobe. I went to set, I got to watch a Carrie Underwood concert and then go home. Like, it was the best day of work ever. So that was a good day.
That sounds like the perfect day. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Great question. We're going to go here to the left on the microphone there.
Hiya, thank you for being here today. My question's for Martin. I would like to know if you could have a duel fight with Johnny and Daniel, who would your partner be?
Well, it would definitely be Johnny. I mean, my
No,
partner.
if you were against Johnny.
If I was against Johnny, who would my partner be?
In the Karate Kid Cobra Kai universe?
Any.
Oh. Lord.
The character from Lord of the Rings for you, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I would take Viggo Mortensen from Lord of the Rings. Yeah. I think we all want to be Viggo Mortensen of Lord of the Rings, you know. I mean, it was the ultimate heroes. Yes, that's who I would choose.
Right.
Or Jesse Kove, either one.
Thank you. We're going to go here on the right.
Hi, my question is for all of you. Can you, since you're in a series doing karate, can you actually do karate?
Is that for me again? Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we had started just about a month before. There was a movie about Brian Boru, strangely enough, and we were just in Ireland for 4 days. And Brian Boru, from the book called The Lion of Ireland, which is a book written by Morgan Llewellyn, talking about the Vikings attacking, you know, Ireland, and he unified all the villages and towns and, you know, ward off the Vikings. And we were learning and working with a lot of swords, and I had plywood axes about this big, and he was a great axeman. But we had to learn karate as a foundation to work with kendo, with different moves within kendo, the world of swords. And it was very fortuitous because we worked together for about 2 or 3 months, and the sets were built in Ireland. And then one day, Margaret Thatcher changed the tax laws, and the movie was scrubbed. No Lion of Ireland. So I had this martial arts background, and within a couple of weeks, I met on the Karate Kid. And at the time of the auditions, it didn't really matter if you knew karate or not. It wasn't a prerequisite. In fact, the only people, Bobby, I think the fellow who plays, Ron Thomas who plays, he was the only black belt out of everyone. And the rest of us were just formidable athletes, you know. But I had a little bit of the background, and working with our stunt coordinator helped us formulate even better.
I've done different mixed martial arts training, karate when I was younger, and I enjoy stunts. I love doing action movies, so it definitely comes in handy. So yes.
I haven't, but I would love to.
Thank you.
Thank you. We've got a question here on the left.
Hi. Before I start, I just want to say I love your show, and your show is the reason why I started kickboxing, and I just love it so much. And my question is for Martin. In season 5, are we going to see any scenes of you in jail?
Yes.
Short and sweet.
I think Netflix is calling me. 1 second. Yeah, no, he didn't say that.
We have a question here on the right.
Hello, it's lovely been seeing you all here today. This question's for all of you. If you could have anyone, like any actor to work with on set, who would you pick?
Florence Pugh.
I think I would like probably Anthony Hopkins.
So many. Oh my God. This is terrible. I have so many. I mean, God, I love Captain America. Chris Evans seems like a great guy to have fun with on set, so that'd be great.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say R2-D2.
I like R2-D2. Pink R2-D2, wherever she is.
Yes, there's a girly R2-D2 here. Thank you. Great question. We're going to go to the microphone on the left.
What's your favorite line to say as your character?
Good job. You answer that one.
Mine? I feel like the one I do the most is, guys, can't we all just get along?
Aw.
For me, it would be, what's wrong with you, Betsy? You don't show the opponent mercy.
I think from the movie, oddly enough, there was that one beat at the height of the fight in Karate Kid 1 where I screamed, "Finish him," you know? Yeah, I mean, that's the point where we all have, you know, tingles going up our arms, and, you know, we're all just getting the chills and what's going to happen. And there was a great little story. We watched, Ralph and I were at a show, and we watched the final 10 minutes of the tournament scene, that scene where I'm screaming and everybody else is screaming. And we watched it from the back of the screen just to show you that we all still get chills. Ralph and I are watching that scene from the back of a movie screen. And we watched the scene in reverse because we're watching from behind the screen. And we still got chills. And it still worked. And he and I had seen the movie how many times? But still, you know, those moments, those crescendos, like in Rocky and all that, those things, you hold on to them forever, which is probably why Karate Kid is the gift that keeps giving all of us, you know?
Thank you.
Thank you. We go here to the right.
Hi, I'd really like to know who the nicest person was on set.
Aww.
Nicest person on set.
Nicest person. The catering woman.
Catering. Okay, everybody's so nice. I can't pick one.
It's truly are. Everybody is so nice. It's really amazing. As soon as you see them in action doing something, as soon as it cuts, they're all giggling and laughing afterwards.
Well, just between us, who was horrible? Just kidding. I would not ask that. He's turning his chair around. Oh, no.
That's actually a great question. Who don't you like on this?
Yeah. Just between us, you know.
There's a lot of people that don't like you. So, but who don't you like? everybody is great on this. The greatest thing about when I first started that show was that everybody in the crew was so happy because they all had seen the movies. And they were so happy to be in any position because they just grew up with those films. And now we were making a TV series, and we were in Atlanta. And, you know, it was just, I had never been on a set where everybody was so happy to be at that job. And it all stemmed from loving this movie as a kid, all the people. And it was quite charming to have, you could feel it. And that everybody was really glad to be working as a grip, working in wardrobe, whatever, because it was that extra little edge because they loved those movies, you know?
They're genuine fans, right? And it's so great that Cobra Kai is continuing that story, and we're getting to, you know, it spans generations, young and old. Very cool. We're going to go with a question here on the left.
Hi. So obviously in Cobra Kai, there's a lot of like stunts. So I was wondering, how many of the stunts do the cast actually get to do?
How many stunts?
Yeah, so like, do you have stunt doubles for most of them, or do you get to do a lot of them?
Well, I think we all try to do almost everything in those scenes that we can do. And then when it becomes really dangerous, or it's so complicated that we let the stunt people do it, going through the window in season 3 and all that, you know. But, you know, my hats, as you know, Hawk and Robbie, and they do brilliant work, and they get 2 days, maybe 3 days to rehearse. The fight scenes in that tournament at the end of season 4, brilliant work, and they had maybe 1 or 2 days to rehearse any of it. And, you know, Billy and I and Ralph get a little more. But those, you know, Hawk and all of them, Tori, they don't get very much time at all. So my hat is always off to them as really being good athletes, that they can handle pretty much everything thrown at them. But, you know, when it's really dangerous and rough and complicated, the stunt people step in. But not often, not often.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. We have time for 2 questions. Only 2 questions left, guys. They've got to get back to the autograph area, but we're going to go with a question here on the right.
Hi, I'd just like to say thank you to Monopoly Events for bringing the cast of Cobra Kai to Wales. My question is to all of you. Who, if you couldn't describe season 5 in 1 word, what would it be?
Crazy.
Mayhem.
Yeah, just mayhem.
Good question. Thank you. We were intrigued, but now we're really intrigued. Mayhem and crazy. We are going to go to our final question here on the left.
Hello.
Actually, I'm so sorry. We'll get 2 questions because there is a Cobra Kai amongst us right here.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll go to you, and then you'll be the final question, sir. Go ahead, ma'am.
Hello, I know you've heard this a lot, but I'd like to thank you for being here, first of all. And I would like to ask, what is some advice for being an actress or an actor in general, which you don't really hear, and the most valuable that you could give?
It's really hard, and you're going to get mostly no's all the time. But screw that and go and achieve your dreams, because most of the time the people that got told no made it.
Thank you.
What exactly was your favorite Karate Kid movie or Cobra Kai episode to film?
Well, I think my favorite, Karate Kid 1 was my favorite. I think the episodes, you know, there's so many interesting episodes. I like my introduction I liked. And I really, you know, you'll all see in season 5, which I can't really talk about, there's some wonderful things. My favorite scenes are in there too. And from what you have seen, I believe that fight scene in season 3 at the end. Actually, every time there's such a history between Johnny Lawrence and John Kreese. There's 35 years of history. So even if we don't even speak, the audience reads so much history between us, because, you know, aside from Cobra Kai, he's my greatest love in the world, and I want to make sure that he stays straight and comes back to Cobra Kai. So every time we have a scene together, it's always so rich. So it's hard to isolate these scenes, you know. It's really hard. But I think that scene when I take the dojo away in the dojo, you know, and I say, one day you'll come back and you'll thank me for this, you know. That scene, I think that's the very end of season 3, where, you know, he comes back after Miguel gets hurt.
I really love the finale of season 2, the final episode. That school fight, nothing compares. Like, even being a small part of that and watching how everybody worked, the cast and the crew, it was crazy, and they worked so hard and they killed it. So yeah, I really love that episode.
It was a great episode. Similarly, I like the fight at season 3, I think, where actually that moment where Hawk turns and goes and helps Gianni. That was a great moment. I love that. Helping his best friend again. Love that scene.
Well, I did say we had one final question, but there is one more student over here that has a final question on the right.
Hi, this question's for Martin. Can I ask what Mr. Miyagi was like in real life?
Well, you know, originally, the producer, Jerry Weintraub, did not want him as Mr. Miyagi. They had interviewed, you know, vast amounts of people. Toshiro Mifune, which was a brilliant Japanese actor, big star. They interviewed him, but he didn't speak English well enough. And Pat Morita was not wanted by the producer who had the final say. So John Avildsen, the director, went out and shot some scenes similar to what Miyagi's behavior was of Pat Morita, and brought it to the producer, and the producer fell in love with him and said, yes, he's the fellow, you know. And he was just generous and kind, and gave us little trinkets at the end of every season, every movie. You know, albums of souvenir photographs. He was a very gentle soul, funny, very funny. And he's a fellow who died way too early. But he was genuinely right there for me when I did my final audition. And he was great. And we did it on the set while he was acting, had already started Karate Kid 1. And lovely man, really lovely man.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much. Or do you want to do that?
The little Cobra Kai guy?
Yeah, we thought he was going to ask a question. No, no? Okie dokie. We'll go to this gentleman here for the final question.
Who is the scariest to film with?
Scariest opponent.
Scariest opponent. It's unfortunate that, but probably at a certain time, I think that maybe the captain in Vietnam, you know, because I thought he was looking over and at me, you know, even though it wasn't me, it was Barrett who played the young. I still would analyze what the younger Kreese in those flashbacks did, because I'd always think about that for me, that would I behave that way if, you know, if I was younger? And the writers wrote that, but I still would analyze what that character who played me in 1967, 8, and 9, and I think probably I would have been, as a young John Kreese, I would have been afraid of that captain because I found him to be really unpredictable. And he ultimately was. And that's why I killed him.
I love that. What a great way to end this amazing panel. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to let them get back to the autograph area so you can get your meet and greet, your photo ops, and autographs. Please give it up one more time for the cast of Cobra Kai.
Thank you, Wales!
Keep it going for Hannah, Jesse, and Martin. Your cast of Cobra Kai right here at Comic-Con Wales. Don't forget, they're going to be here for the rest of today and tomorrow for autographs, photo ops, and meet and greet opportunities. So go to the autograph area and make those memories with the stars of Cobra Kai. Let's hear it one more time for them. Thank you so much. All right, we've got some more panels coming up next. Sabrina coming up, and many more stars here at Comic-Con Wales. Stay